Stop for just a moment, because what you are about to hear may change the way you look at the people around you after 65. There comes a quiet season in life when your time becomes more valuable than approval, your peace becomes more important than politeness, and your heart begins to understand something it may have ignored for decades. Not everyone who has access to you deserves access to you. Not every familiar face belongs in your final chapters. For many years, you may have been taught to be generous, forgiving, available, and patient. You may have believed that being a good person meant giving everyone another chance, answering every request, listening to every complaint, and keeping peace even when peace was being stolen from you. You may have tolerated disrespect because you did not want conflict. But age has a way of removing illusions. The older you become, the more clearly you see the difference between love and dependence, loyalty and habit, kindness and self-abandonment. What once looked like compassion may have been fear of disappointing others. What once looked like patience may have been exhaustion wearing a polite face. This does not mean you should become bitter. It does not mean you should close your heart, distrust everyone, or live with suspicion. Stoic wisdom never teaches hatred. It teaches discernment. It teaches that your life is a limited garden, and whatever you allow to grow there will eventually shape the air you breathe. After 65, you no longer have endless years to waste on people who drain your strength, disturb your spirit, or make you feel guilty for protecting your peace. You are not here to punish anyone. You are here to recognize who no longer belongs near the sacred quiet of your remaining years. The first kind of person who should no longer have a place in your life is the one who only remembers you when they need something. You know this person by the pattern, not by one single moment. They disappear when life is ordinary, but return when there is a bill to pay, a favor to ask, a problem to unload, or a crisis they want you to solve. They may call you with warmth in their voice, but their warmth often has a hook hidden inside it. But slowly, you begin to notice that the relationship has no balance. After 65, being needed can become dangerous when it replaces being valued. Some people do not love your presence, they love your usefulness. They do not miss your voice, they miss your resources. They do not seek your wisdom, they seek your agreement. And because you have lived long enough to understand hardship, you may keep giving because you know what it means to struggle. But there is a difference between helping someone stand and allowing someone to lean on you forever because they refuse to carry their own weight. It understands that compassion without boundaries becomes a slow form of self-harm. When someone only appears with empty hands and urgent demands, it may be time to let silence become your answer. The second kind of person is the one who turns every conversation into guilt. They do not speak to understand you. They speak to weaken your boundaries. If you say no, they remind you of the past. If you ask for space, they accuse you of changing. If you protect your savings, your energy, or your time, they make you feel selfish. These people often know exactly which wounds to touch. They know you value family, loyalty, and doing the right thing, so they use those values against you. Their words may sound emotional, but beneath the emotion is control. Guilt is one of the oldest chains in human relationships. It does not lock the door from the outside. It convinces you to keep the door open from within. A person who truly loves you can feel disappointed without trying to destroy your peace. They can accept your limits without attacking your character. They can hear your no without turning it into proof that you are cruel. After 65, you must become very careful with anyone who makes you feel guilty for having a boundary. A boundary is not betrayal. A boundary is simply the line where your self-respect begins. If someone cannot approach that line with maturity, they have shown you that what they wanted was not closeness, but access without responsibility. The third kind of person is the chronic critic, the one who corrects your joy until you no longer feel safe expressing it. They may laugh at your choices, dismiss your memories, mock your beliefs, or treat your age as weakness. When you share a plan, they tell you why it will fail. When you feel proud, they shrink your happiness. When you speak from experience, they act as if your wisdom is outdated. Around them, you begin to measure every sentence, hide every dream, and lower your own light so they do not have to confront their darkness. This kind of person may not shout. Sometimes criticism arrives quietly, through sarcasm, little comments, raised eyebrows, and jokes that leave a bruise. The danger of the chronic critic is that they slowly train you to doubt yourself. After a lifetime of surviving storms they have never seen, you should not have to defend your right to be respected. Your age is not an apology. Your softness is not foolishness. Your memories are not clutter. Your preferences are not a burden. Your life has been shaped by victories, losses, sacrifices, mistakes, and lessons that no careless tongue has the right to ridicule. Stoicism teaches that we cannot control the opinions of others, but we can control how much of our inner room we allow those opinions to occupy. If someone consistently leaves you feeling smaller, heavier, or ashamed of being yourself, their seat in your life should become empty. The fourth kind of person is the one who brings chaos and calls it love. This person may be exciting, dramatic, unpredictable, and always surrounded by conflict. They arrive with stories, emergencies, accusations, financial trouble, family battles, broken promises, and emotional fires. But after a while, you notice that every conversation ends with your nervous system tired. Their life becomes your weather. Their anger becomes your headache. Their choices become your responsibility. They do not bring peace into your home, they bring noise and expect you to call it connection. After 65, your body knows the cost of chaos. A younger person may recover from emotional storms quickly, but later in life every unnecessary disturbance takes something from your rest, your health, and your clarity. You have earned the right to quiet mornings, simple meals, peaceful evenings, and conversations that do not leave your chest tight. Love should not feel like standing beside a burning building every day. Compassion does not require you to become a firefighter for someone who keeps lighting matches. When a person refuses to take responsibility for their repeated chaos, stepping back is not abandonment. It is wisdom. It is the soul saying, I have lived through enough storms. I will not invite one to sleep at my table. The fifth kind of person is the hidden manipulator, the one who smiles while slowly moving your decisions away from your own hands. They may not appear dangerous at first. In fact, they may seem helpful, attentive, and concerned. They offer to handle things for you, speak for you, decide for you, or keep certain information from you because they say it is easier that way. They may pressure you about money, property, documents, accounts, passwords, or personal choices while pretending their only motive is care. They may treat your age as permission to question your judgment. They may make you feel embarrassed for asking questions or taking time to think. This person is especially important to recognize after 65, because manipulation often wears the clothing of protection. Real help strengthens your independence. False help weakens it. Real care explains patiently. False care rushes you. Real love respects your right to decide. False love becomes irritated when you do not obey. You should never feel ashamed for protecting your information, reviewing documents, seeking a second opinion, or saying, I need time before I answer. Anyone who becomes angry because you are being careful has revealed something important. A wise person does not surrender their authority simply to avoid awkwardness. Your life, your home, your money, your body, and your choices still belong to you. Anyone who cannot honor that truth should not stand close enough to influence your future. The sixth kind of person is the one who feeds on your pain but disappears from your healing. They want to hear your sad stories, your family problems, your fears, and your regrets. They may sit with you when you are broken because broken people are easier to feel superior to. But when you begin to grow stronger, become calmer, set boundaries, or find happiness without them, their energy changes. They no longer seem supportive. They become distant, jealous, suspicious, or dismissive. This person does not want your peace. They want your dependence. They prefer you wounded because your wound gives them a role. There is a painful truth many people discover late in life. Not everyone who comforts you wants you to recover. Some people build their identity around being needed by your weakness. They enjoy being the advisor, the rescuer, the listener, the one who knows all your private struggles. But genuine love celebrates your strength. It does not become uncomfortable when you stop suffering. It does not lose interest when your voice becomes steady. It does not punish you for healing. After 65, you cannot afford relationships that require you to stay wounded in order to stay connected. You are allowed to outgrow the version of yourself that certain people understood. You are allowed to become peaceful even if your peace makes them feel unnecessary. The seventh kind of person is the one who has no respect for your remaining time. They may constantly keep you waiting, cancel plans without care, speak endlessly without listening, interrupt your rest, or expect immediate access whenever they feel bored. They may treat your days as empty because you are retired, older, or living more slowly. They assume you are always available. They forget that your time is not less valuable because your pace has changed. In truth, it may be more valuable than ever, because you now understand that every ordinary day is a gift you will never hold twice. Time after 65 has a different sound. It is softer, but more honest. It asks you to choose carefully. It reminds you that your attention is your life in small pieces. Every hour given to resentment, pressure, noise, and disrespect is an hour not given to prayer, laughter, reading, walking, resting, creating, remembering, or simply breathing in peace. A person who respects you will respect your time. They will not treat your availability as something they own. They will not demand instant replies or punish you for choosing quiet. They will understand that rest is not laziness, solitude is not rejection, and a peaceful schedule is not selfish. Anyone who refuses to respect your time is asking for a part of your life they have not earned. Now, perhaps as you listen, certain faces are appearing in your mind. Maybe you are thinking of someone you love deeply. Maybe this is difficult because the person who drains you is not a stranger. Maybe it is a relative, an old friend, a neighbor, an adult child, a sibling, or someone who has been around for so long that removing them feels impossible. This is where wisdom must be gentle but firm. Sometimes the most powerful change is quiet. You answer less. You explain less. You stop offering what was never appreciated. You remove certain topics from conversation. You meet in public instead of your home. You keep your money private. You stop sharing every detail of your heart with someone who has not handled it carefully. Distance can be practiced with dignity. It does not have to be cruel. You can wish someone well without giving them full access. You can forgive without returning to the same pattern. You can love from a distance without allowing that love to become a doorway for harm. The Stoic path is not emotional coldness. It is emotional discipline. It is the ability to say, I care, but I will not betray myself to prove it. It is the courage to choose peace even when others misunderstand your silence. It is the maturity to know that some relationships end loudly, but others simply fade because your soul is no longer willing to pay the price of keeping them alive. Many people feel guilty when they begin protecting themselves later in life. They think, maybe I am becoming harsh. Maybe I am too old to change. Maybe I should just tolerate things the way I always have. But ask yourself this. If a younger person came to you and described the same treatment, would you tell them to endure it forever? Would you tell them to keep giving to someone who only takes, keep listening to someone who only criticizes, keep trusting someone who manipulates, keep opening their door to someone who brings chaos? Or would your wisdom rise up and tell them, protect your peace, child, because life is too precious to spend it begging for basic respect? The advice you would give someone you love is often the advice your own soul has been waiting to receive. You deserve the same protection you would offer another person. You deserve relationships that feel honest, balanced, and peaceful. You deserve people who can sit with you without needing to use you, correct you, control you, or consume your time. You deserve to spend your remaining years surrounded by those who bring warmth without pressure, truth without cruelty, care without manipulation, and love without chains. After 65, removing certain people from your life is not about pride. It is about clarity. It is about finally understanding that your presence is valuable. Your kindness is valuable. Your home is valuable. Your attention is valuable. Your peace is valuable. People who cannot honor these things should not be placed in the center of your days. Let them stand where their behavior has earned them a place. Some may stand close. Some may stand at a distance. Some may need to leave your life entirely. This is not punishment. This is order. This is the garden being tended. This is the door being guarded. This is the final chapter being written with steadier hands. And if loneliness frightens you, remember this. It is better to sit alone in peace than to sit surrounded by people who make your spirit feel unsafe. Quiet can restore what constant drama keeps draining. A smaller circle can hold more love than a crowded room full of hidden disrespect. The goal is not to have many people around you. The goal is to have the right people around you, people whose presence allows your nervous system to rest, whose words do not require armor, whose love does not come with a bill you must pay in guilt. As you move through the later years of life, begin listening to how people leave you feeling. Not just what they say. Not just who they are supposed to be. Not just how long you have known them. Notice the feeling in your body after they leave. Do you feel peaceful or disturbed? Respected or used? Clear or confused? Stronger or smaller? Your body often understands what your politeness tries to deny. Your spirit often whispers the truth before your mouth is ready to speak it. Here at Stoic Beacon, the message is simple. You are not too old to choose differently. You are not too late to protect your peace. You are not wrong for limiting access to people who have repeatedly shown you that they do not know how to treat your life with care. After 65, the people who remain close should be people who respect your boundaries, value your presence, honor your time, and bring calm instead of confusion. Let your remaining years be guided by wisdom, not guilt. Let your kindness become more intentional. Let your silence become more powerful. Let your home become a place where peace is protected, not constantly negotiated. One day, when you look back on this season, you may realize that the greatest act of courage was not adding more people to your life, but removing the wrong ones. You may realize that the peace you thought was impossible was waiting behind one brave decision. You may realize that your heart did not become colder. It became clearer. And clarity is one of the final gifts of age. It teaches you that love without respect is not love. Help without boundaries is not wisdom. Company without peace is not companionship. The right people will not require you to abandon yourself in order to keep them. They will meet you with honesty, patience, gratitude, and care. So protect your phone. Protect your home. Protect your time. Protect your money. Protect your stories. Protect your mornings. Protect the quiet dignity of the life you have worked so hard to build. You have already survived enough. You have already explained enough. You have already given enough to people who mistook your kindness for permission. Now let your remaining years belong to peace. Let them belong to truth. Let them belong to the few people who bring light without stealing warmth. Thank you for spending this time with Stoic Beacon. May your heart become lighter, your boundaries become stronger, your days become calmer, and your life be filled with people who understand that access to you is not a right, but a privilege earned through love, respect, and consistent care.